What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are on Tuesday here. We're going to be talking about some interesting things in this video, one of which would include what no one tells you about trading altcoins and its risk. Going to be answering that real quickly. Going to be talking about some altcoin setups as well, which would include XLM, which is Stellar Lumens, ICP, Internet Computer, DEXE had a huge drop recently. Going to be taking a look into that. We'll also be taking a look into Cronos real quick, which was a request by one of my subscribers. I will take a look into that really quickly because we've already covered that a past couple of days ago. In my opinion, not too much has gone on in Cronos, but we're going to take a look anyways. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, you guys should know that I dive deep into the charts every day to find the moves before they actually happen, because that's a lot lower risk than chasing a pump on the day of. If you guys have actually chased pumps on the day of, let me know down in the comment section below how it went. I've been there. I've done that. I prefer a lot lower risk moves, which are moves before they actually happen, right? So if you guys also have any technical analysis requests, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys want to see, what coins you want to see, and I will pick one request every day to do for you guys. Now, let's go ahead and dive into some news first. We are taking a look into news first now, before diving into the altcoin setups. Now, first things first, I do want to mention that Bitcoin is still the driver of this market. Whatever altcoin setups I look at, I keep the Bitcoin chart in the back of my mind first, because if Bitcoin pumps, good things could be happening, will be happening in altcoins. However, if Bitcoin dumps, I will expect altcoins to be doing very similar things. So Bitcoin is going to be the driver of this market. And a lot of times, the risk of trading altcoins, and especially some of these smaller altcoins, is that when Bitcoin dumps, it will dump a lot harder than Bitcoin. Okay, some altcoins, if you guys don't know already, are very high risk. They could go down 30-50% in a week. So I am just gonna put that out there. And when I'm trading altcoins, I know the risk, right? I've been there, 2024, especially 2024 up until now. A lot of altcoins have been dumping like crazy, right? The smaller altcoins, especially. So just want you guys to know the risks before you guys trade altcoins, and definitely, I would consider a risk management plan for when shit happens, right? That would include either exiting out of the position or just seeing a longer time horizon. That's going to be case by case scenario with different altcoins, in my opinion. And of course, what I'm saying in this video is purely my opinions and speculations, and none of which will be financial advice. Now let's go ahead and dive into the Bitcoin news today. I will give you guys my instant reaction to some top crypto headlines. Now, let's see here. Stablecoins ignite record-breaking May. Supply jumps to 244 billion. This is by News BTC 1 hour ago. I think that's definitely bullish for Bitcoin if if the stablecoin supplies actually jumps, right? It's minting stablecoins. I think that's good for the crypto markets as a whole, right? That means more people are actually getting into stablecoins and getting into crypto. All right, 2 hours ago, the block. Trump always chickens out, it says. Tariff, narrative, and big beautiful bill set stage for tumultuous June. K33 says. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not really sure what it's trying to get at. Maybe it's trying to get at that, the tariffs will actually be off the table. It sounds like tumultuous June. I'm not sure if it's talking about politically or in the markets, because I think sometimes there could be a little bit of a disconnect. In terms of the crypto market, I think it's actually going to be a pretty good June, more likely than not. And I will show you guys why I think that on the charts later. But quite a few. I need more context for this headline. That's for sure. Without getting into too much detail. Now, 4 hours ago, Bitcoin price crash. Why 107.5 and 103.5 are the levels to watch? I agree with that because we are at some. Obviously, the resistance is going to be the previous all-time high, which is going to be 112K. That is the real resistance to break. But right now, Bitcoin is at some daily moving average. It's at the daily moving average. I am eyeing as resistance. If it breaks back above that, that's about 107K. If it breaks back above that, that could be looking pretty good for Bitcoin in the short term. Now, next one, Bitcoin still bullish despite dump. Bitcoin bull token to explode in 2025. I agree with that headline more. I myself am very bullish in the market. I have quite a few longs, quite a bit of longs. And I still think we're still going to have a bullish 2025 until the charts tell me otherwise. And I will let you guys know when my opinions change. All right, one more headline here. XRP could transform your finances long before 10K, angel investor says. XRP is pretty far from 10K. I think that's probably out of reach for this cycle. That is just my honest opinion. But in between now and 10K XRP, I think there's going to be a lot of things that could happen. I am bullish on crypto because I know that governments are always going to be printing money, and asset prices are going to go up. And when asset prices go up, that's going to flow into crypto as long as there's a use case. And I think there is. All right, let's go ahead and go to Stellar XLM, see if we have any news. Okay, XLM price prediction for May 30th. That is just a prediction by another analyst. Not really interested in that, into reading into more detail, but I'll give you my own prediction based on what I'm seeing in the charts. Let's go over here to ICP. No recent news here, okay? Now, I do also want to mention that if you guys don't have TradingView and you guys are new to this trading game, right, into trading, definitely want to consider TradingView. I've been using it for the past over 5 years. I don't think I would be able to learn technical analysis, charts, and to trade profitably without using TradingView, because they have a bunch of indicators I could use to learn how to read the markets, even though in my opinion, I really only need a few of them to learn a few of them and to use them effectively. There's other resources in TradingView as well, which includes news, obviously. If you guys are into the news, there's going to be other content creators, other people who share their ideas and charts. So that's going to be very helpful for newbies to actually learn how to chart and how to trade, right? I do have an affiliate link to TradingView in the description section below. They have plans for under $20 per month. And if you guys use my affiliate link to sign up for a plan, I will get a commission, and that supports my channel. And thank you very much. All right, next one is going to be DEXE, okay? This had a pretty big drop recently. I don't see any recent news except for May 23rd to host meme contests. That doesn't sound bearish, or I don't think that would have caused the drop. So no recent news here for DeXE Cronos CRO. Canary Capital seeks SEC approval to launch first staked spot CRO ETF in the US. I think I mentioned this news a couple of days ago. That sounds bullish to me. That there's going to be seeking an application for an approval for an ETF for CRO. So that is basically the news. Let's go ahead and dive into the charts here. Got gonna take a look into Bitcoin here. Bitcoin bouncing back. Some bearish divergence on the hourly time frame. I'm not too concerned with that. Trying to get back on top of the hourly 200 SMA. Now, we're going to be zooming out just for a second, taking a look into this resistance I'm talking about, which is about just about 106.5K here. This is the daily 21 SMA. And right above that, there's going to be the 12-hour 21 SMA. So quite a bit of moving averages that are resistant on top of the price action right now. That's, in that 107K area. If Bitcoin can actually reclaim some of these moving averages, then the next real level I'm looking at is going to be, if we come back up to the weekly time frame here, it's going to be the 112K previous all-time high. Now, this time is going to be a little bit more interesting, because on the weekly time frame, previously we had a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, okay? And I thought it was going to be, it would have been pretty hard for the bulls to actually invalidate this bearish divergence unless it just kept printing green candles, and I've seen that happen, namely back in November 2024. But it usually does indicate a pullback, and it would have been pretty hard for the bulls to invalidate that, because it would have to invalidate this really high RSI reading at about 78. However, since it actually took a dip last week, this is going to be the RSI reading that we have to look to invalidate, which is now at 67. But the current RSI reading is about 64. So it's not going to be that hard for the bulls to actually invalidate this possible bearish divergence scenario this time, okay? However, we still do have I think it's still going to be a very interesting month here, because we do have bearish divergence on the monthly time frame, right? Where you have a higher high on the price action chart, but a lower high on the RSI again. But, there has been cases where there has been bearish divergence, but the bulls continue to push through. Namely, back in December 2020, okay, that was a huge breakout. If you guys actually just check it out back here, if you guys have been around that long. And, yes, to be fair to say, bearish divergence usually indicates a pullback. But I'm just pointing out the exceptions. Could this be an exception? I'm just going to take that and just bake that in with my strategy, okay? So that is basically what I'm seeing, and I think June is going to be a very interesting month. We're going to have the Fed meeting. Going to be very interesting to see what happens in there, right? I try to limit the amount of leverage positions going into the Fed meeting, because I've seen some pretty crazy liquidations that happen to my portfolio. It's going to be a risky play going into that meeting. But that is just me, not financial advice. Let's go ahead and go to some altcoin setups, because we're going to be running low on time today, since we're doing 4 altcoin setups. All right, XLM. See what's going on in this market. All right, talked about this. Weekly time frame, huge falling wedge pattern. Still valid, okay, still broke out and still above the pattern. Price target, it's going to be about 62 cents. Stellar Lumens, price targets are only estimates. It could be more, it could be less. Let's take a look into the daily time frame, see what's going on. Talked about this rising channel, broke down from it, usually is a breakdown. And the price target out of this breakdown target is going to be about 24 cents. Will XLM work its way all the way down to 24 cents? And within this pattern here, this rising channel pattern, it did form a descending triangle pattern, which is also bearish. Still valid, okay? Breakdown target out of that descending triangle pattern is going to be about 22 cents. So more downside is in the cards for XLM, okay? If you're a bull, you probably want to see XLM break back into this descending triangle with daily candles that will invalidate this this triangle pattern here, and then this could look more like a falling wedge, which tells me it could more likely break upwards. Until then, we'll revisit this chart another time. If you guys want us to keep seeing XLM, drop a like, comment, and let me know. ICP talked about this a few, recently. Weekly time frame, still huge falling wedge pattern. And what I'm seeing here is going to be a price target of just shy of 25 bucks ICP. That's still a pretty huge multiple. And let's see here. If it breaks out by this point here, right? Falling wedges, like I said, typically breaks to the upside. And let's see here. We do still have a higher low on the weekly time frame, which was at about 5 bucks. Not too far removed from that. Daily time frame. Also, falling wedge. Price target, it's gonna be about almost $6.60 if it breaks out by this point. Let's move on to the next, DEXE. DEXE, it had a drop last week and this week, right? Falling wedge, okay, it is on some pretty big moving averages as support. Price target out of this falling wedge is going to be about 21 bucks, okay, if it breaks out by this point. It is on a monthly 21 SMA as support, which was at about $10.50. Would it actually give it a pretty good bounce back up, and then we'll chart from there and continue to see what's going on in this market. Now, if you guys do want to continue seeing more of this altcoin, do drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me see here. And 4-hour time frame, some bullish divergence, okay? On the 4-hour time frame, let's see if that would actually play out. Oversold in the 4-hour time frame. I might consider taking a scalp in this, but that is just me, with the leverage position, and probably shoot for a short target. CRO, Cronos, see what's going on in this market. Talked about this last time. I don't think I gave a price target last time. Maybe I rushed through it, I'm sorry. But weekly time frame, okay? Falling wedge broke out already quite a couple months ago, but it hasn't really done much, okay? 17 cents for Cronos price target out of this falling wedge pattern. It did form. It is trying to form on a smaller time frame here, probably a 4-hour time frame. That would be pretty clear. It is trying to form a cup and handle, not 100% formed yet. If it does, price target out of this cup and handle is going to be about 16 cents. Resistance out of this possible cup and handle would be 11.6 cents. That is what I'm seeing on the market, on these altcoins. Let me know if you guys want to see any more of these altcoins or any new altcoins. Questions, comments, likes, subscribe in the section below. I will see you guys next time, and have a great rest of the day.